You guys doing, everyone? It's the Amateur Spark Show. This is Natalie Lasky, and today we're going to be having Art Hippley, who is going to be talking to us about Art's art. Let's see if we can get Art on the line here, and then we're going to find out a little bit about what he has done in his previous work, and I should be putting up on the screen what his art actually is. He does book folding, as you can see on the screen here. Hello? Are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, this is the Amateur Spark Show. And Art Hippley, I actually went to school with him growing up and everything. And I would have never guessed that he was this creative back in high school. To us about his art that he does. I believe you call it Art's art, correct?
Art made it.
Art made. Okay, I have Art's art up on the board here. But so Art Made It is the name of his art. And what is it that you actually do?
So I take old books or new books, depending. We'll have this book.
Okay.
And then I get what image I want. And then I pattern it out with all these beautiful numbers that will make you dizzy after a while.
So, like, how exactly does that work with the numbers?
Then it's so
that looks like a pretty intense list of numbers there.
Yeah, it does take some time. But the numbers are so you know where to mark on the page. Like this little guy.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
Thank you. So
what exactly is that? Is that a spider?
Oh, it's Star Wars.
Oh, Star Wars. Okay. I wasn't sure if that was a ship or a spider. A ship was going to be my next guy. But now I can see it with the glare shifting.
It's kind of, the pages on that one are shiny, but here's one from my Zodiac badge line.
Wow, that is amazing. Gemini.
Thank you. So the numbers, I'll go line by line. So each of these is a page. And then each page I'll go through and I'll mark it on that line. So then I know where to cut on the page and fold.
Wow.
Then once you're all through, you get this.
Man. Now, how do you keep them from closing up?
As in the books?
Yeah, like how that's opened up partially.
Yes. So after all the folding, since there's so many little folds, it creates a fan.
Oh, nice.
So,
yeah, that is absolutely beautiful. I mean, I'm telling you what, guys, this guy has some talent here. Like, I could never do anything like that.
The book folding came later in life. I didn't do this in high school.
How old were you when you got into it?
I was fairly out of college. And I saw my mom had one of these books on her shelf. And I just asked her about it. And she goes, oh, I did that. And I was like, what? What do you mean?
So what type of college degree gets you this type of skill?
Go to school for travel and tourism.
Nice.
But yeah, and then I kind of did a couple books. Mom kind of held my hand and like showed me how to do it. And she had patterns that were already numbered out and patterned out for you. And then it just kind of started experimenting. It went from actually taking the pattern or the image and kind of sketching it on the book It's not as accurate when you do that, but it is what it is. And then that evolved from doing that to kind of learning Photoshop. And you would take the image, put it on a sheet, and then create another sheet and put as many lines as pages that you wanted the pattern to be and put that over it and then measure out where all the lines hit the image. That one was very time. That doing it that way is very time consuming.
So are you using Photoshop for that, or?
Recently I found there is a book folding program that you just load the image to the program.
Okay.
And it will pattern it out for you, which saves a lot of time.
Yeah, AI has really came a long way, and just the advances that has made is just amazing in its own right. But
yeah.
So what type of books have you done for projects?
It's mostly, I started off, so I was at my job and someone was talking to me about their daughter's birthday and they wanted something unique. And I mentioned a folded book for her daughter and she had no clue what I was talking about. So I had started getting back into book folding as a time filler during COVID because I wasn't doing anything. You can only rearrange your apartment so many times.
That is true.
And so I showed her a couple pictures and she was like, I want one. And I was like, perfect. I'll make one for you. And then I made it. And when I brought it to her, she had just set it up on the bar as she was working. And everybody that was passing through was like, whoa, what is that? And she was like, oh, Art made it. And then that's where the name came from. And then people started asking me, how much do you charge? And I wasn't even thinking of like doing this as a thing. And I got so many requests for different things, ranging from Harry Potter to Star Wars, any images I saw out and about or online. I was like, oh, that's really cool. So if I found it online, I would just buy the pattern from whoever had it on the online and then get it patterned out. But yeah, that's it.
So are there any requirements? Like, are there certain things that you just can't do, or are there requirements that a certain image has to meet in order to be able to?
Yeah, you don't want to use paperback books because they'll just fall over. You need hardback books to kind of hold it up better. For your image, you want to make sure the book contains enough pages. And that's pretty much it for the requirements. And you don't want your book to be too high because I've done a book that was it was probably 2 feet.
Okay.
And it just makes the pages that it rests on kind of wonky. So you don't want your book to be too high. You want it to be like kind of stocky and sturdy.
Right. So, what's the average page count it takes you to do a project?
I wouldn't do any image under 150 pages. So that would be a 300 numbered book.
All right.
Because each page has 2 numbers. So you also have to take that into consideration. So you know how the first page of a book it's numbered 1 and 2, 1 on the front, 2 on the back.
Okay, gotcha.
So you want to make sure you have enough pages in that manner, and take that into consideration so that you don't mess up and have not enough pages because you didn't realize.
With the page count, is there any times that like you can do like 150 page fold with like a 500 or 600 page book?
Yes. And that's kind of what I'm working on right now, is because the image is using less pages than is in the book. So you have to use your math skills And
that's beautiful. Oh my goodness.
you have to use your math skills to know how many pages, if you want to even, how many pages you aren't going to use in the front and the back.
Like I wasn't sure if it was going to have like a 3D effect to it, but that really does. It's very pretty.
Thank you.
Do you ever add color or stuff like that to like?
Not yet, but I have a lot of ideas in my head, but I try not to get too overwhelmed or put too much on my plate.
Right.
So I can keep up with everything, and orders and such.
So what happens when you mess up? Like, when you're in the middle of a fold or you put a cut in the wrong spot, do you add tape? That's awesome. I mean, the only thing that could probably made it better is if it was duct tape. But, but no, I mean, that makes sense. Now, is there like, how long does it take you before you actually realize that you messed up? Is it one of those deals that if you mess up, do you catch it like right away, or is it like once it's finally come together and you're like, oh no, and then you have to go back and recalculate everything?
No, it's you'll notice right away that you messed up if you do a wrong cut, because then it won't line up. There'll be a page out of whack. So you can normally catch right away, and then you just use a little bit of tape and tape where you cut incorrectly, and then make the correct cut. And it's not too hard to fix if you have messed up, even later on. Because after I'm done with an image, I'll kind of sit there and look at it, just make sure that I like it, because I'm the harshest critic.
I know exactly what you mean. I'm the same way. Like, I will critique myself far worse than anyone I know could ever critique me. Because
a lot of things I see, I'm like, oh, that could be better. But then if you try to fix it, it'll just kind of look more weird. So it's best just to trust the process, leave it as it is. And a lot of times people don't even see what you see.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean now. So what's the hardest book you've done to date?
Oh, the hardest book was a Frida Kahlo.
And why was it the hardest?
Well, there's a couple. The Frida Kahlo book, the big one that I was talking about earlier, it was too big for my roller. So I would have to measure the first half and then make sure I would have to re-put it for the lower half and make sure I had it perfectly aligned every time.
So like, does it go off centimeters or inches or like millimeters? Like, how do you, like the numbers that you was talking about, is that now that I see you use a ruler, is that a spinning angle ruler, or I'm not sure?
It's like a regular T ruler.
Okay.
So the book will be held here. When I lay it down, it'll go on the top of the page. And I use centimeters because it's small enough to where I can get more detail. Because if you use inches, it doesn't look as put together.
Right.
It looks a little sloppy.
Now, do you have to take into account how deep you cut, or when?
Yes. That also, so you can use any kind of scissors, and then I have 1 centimeter marked off on the top in Sharpie. So that's as far as I cut into the book. Because the books, you can still read the books and everything, but you just have to unfold the top and the bottom.
I like how they have that 3D effect. Like, have you ever done any of the books where where it's over pages and then you like go real deep and then make the design where it's like in a tunnel almost, or a cave or whatever?
No, everything's pretty just.
Or is that a new idea for you to try someday?
I've had an idea like that. I wanted to make a diamond
Oh my goodness, that would be so cool.
And have like the diamonds in, so it would kind of be like a 3D effect like that with everything. But
God, like I don't know. I can see how creative just one project could get with the imagination. So what exactly is that aha spark? Like whenever you're looking at a book and like, not when you're doing it for a customer or a client or anything, but like when you're doing one for yourself, like when's that moment when you know what you're doing or like when you're in mid project, that aha moment? Well, expand on.
it's just every time you complete a page, and then as you're watching it unfold in front of your eyes, as like page by page, it's like not a lot of people get to see it. I'll send photos of the progress, which kind of helps because you can kind of see the development. But what keeps me going is just seeing it unfold or fold in front of me. Like
Of how it unfolds while you're folding.
But that's what really keeps me motivated when I'm doing this. Because if I do have a big project, and a bigger book, it does kind of I get kind of antsy because I just sit here.
Like, how far into a project before you're like, that moment where you're like, oh yeah, this is going to turn out amazing. Like
Normally a quarter of the way in.
Before where you were, I'm not sure if this is going to be all right. Like you think it when you're in that point where you're like, I think it's going to look good. It's going to be oh man, it's going to be amazing. Like that.
Yeah. It's a quarter of the way in. When I'm quarter of the way in and I see, and I have a good chunk done, then it's normally like, this is going to be really, really, really cute.
Awesome. So like, how long have you actually been doing this?
Just, seriously,
Yeah.
2020. So end of 2019, 2020. That's when I started really getting into it and actually taking orders and getting books done for people.
How was that for you as far as your experience in getting started from scratch when you like, I know you did that first one for your friend or your coworker and like, but when it actually was, you knew it was going to be a thing that you're going to be doing for a long time. You're like, this is your thing.
The interest every time everybody saw a new book and every time I got a new order, just the interest and that kind of made the trajectory go up instead of just stay stagnant.
So do you plan on making this a full-time business someday or?
I would like to. I kind of want to open a little craft store and just display all the books and also whatever little crafts that come into my head.
How many books have you done so far?
To date, probably around 50 to 60 books.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. And each book, depending on the pattern, each book takes me 25 to up to 75 hours.
So how long do you work at it at a time? Is it one of those deals like you just do a little bit here, a little bit there every time you get a free moment? Or is it like something that you have a section of time of your day dedicated to folding books?
I kind of schedule out my day just to keep me more focused. But honestly, anytime I have free time, even if it's just, I only have time to do like a couple of pages.
Do you ever get in those, moods where you're like, I really don't, I want to get this done, but I really don't want to be dealing with books today. And like, how do you get through that?
I talk myself into it.
Okay.
I think of, it's going to sound cheesy, but I think of the smiles and everything and the oohs and the ahs when they see the finished product. That's what gets me through.
That's awesome. So, do you have any closing remarks or anything that you'd like to let our viewers know? And how would they be able to reach out to you if they wanted to pursue, if they have interest in finding more information about?
Yeah, just stick with your passion, trust the process. The biggest thing, don't question yourself. Go, do it. Don't question yourself. Just keep chipping away at it. Find what you like to do and just bring smiles. And I started an Instagram. I wasn't on Instagram at all. And then somebody at work was like, you really need to be on Instagram.
You want to spoil our age here.
You're right. And then I started an Instagram that's at art_made_it. I post all of my finished products on there. I'm on Facebook, Art Made It, and TikTok as well. I just started TikTok. There's only a couple videos on that, but and I do have a website, artmadeit.com, and they can email me or they can message me through Facebook if they have my number. That's how I can be reached.
Awesome. Well, I really thank you for your time and everything, because like this is truly like the most fascinating thing I've ever seen someone do with books. Like I would have never imagined seeing the pages truly coming alive in this sense, considering that like it's normally in your imagination that the pages come alive, but to actually see them physically come alive, it's truly a work of art by art.
No, thank you.
I'm all about the cheesy pun, so
that's perfect.
I mean, if you can't smile at the small stuff, then what are you smiling at?
Right. Exactly.
I appreciate your time, and once everything's put together and you'll get to see the whole production of everything. And
that's all.
Like, I look forward to getting it together, and hopefully you can use this for your own advertisement as well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Have a good day, and don't get a paper cut.
I won't. Thank you for your time. Have a good one.
So everyone, that was Art. He has some amazing content out there. And if you have any type of ideas that you'd want to run past him, feel free to contact him. He's a very reasonable, genuine guy that is willing to work with you in whatever situation you're in. And hopefully maybe he'll get to create some art for you. Until next time. This is the Amateur Spark Show. Have a good day, guys.